today we have a great person in our middle, Dr. Prakasa. He is the founder of Global Hindu Heritage Foundation in America, and they are doing great work, and they are running in a website called Save Temples, and they are doing fantastic work in terms of helping temples and helping the Hindu Dharma. I'm Madhava Turumella. I am the founder of Teluguvani Radio, and I'm glad you are all here. And let's listen now from Dr. Prakasa.
Namaste. I just wanted to talk about the Global Hindu Heritage Foundation. We started in 2006. So I went to USA in 1965 and then retired as a chairman and professor of sociology. In 2006, I went to India. I was reading a newspaper, and then I saw this news item saying that Andhra Pradesh government issued GO 29, whereby they allotted crores of rupees for the construction of new churches and then renovation of churches, old churches. When I read that news item, somehow my blood boiled, and I said, this is unreal, this is happening to India, there should be something we have to do. So I contacted a lot of people, including the Prime Minister and the President and all of them, to mention, this is injustice, it should not be done. Of course, you know that, I was naive, so thinking that somebody would respond, it never happened. Within 2 weeks, I realized that, so I'm the one who is really hurting inside for my Bharat, my country. So either I do something, otherwise I better not criticize anybody. So that is how I started this organization in 2006. So since that time, so we have taken over a number of activities. First thing is, within 2 weeks, because I was a US citizen, I could not go to the High Court and then stop the allocation of these funds to churches. So I found a couple of people in Hyderabad, and I went to High Court, and we were able to stop that one. So we got a stay order whereby they could not release the funds. And then slowly trying to figure out what is the problem in India. So within 2-3 months, so I realized the extent of problem our Hindu organizations are facing, and basically it is Endowment Act, it is called. This act by which all the southern states have taken over almost all the temples who are making 50,000 rupees or more. Any temple, 50,000 rupees or more. Whereas in the north, only selected temples are taken by the respective government. In Maharashtra, Siddhivinayaka temple, and then Shirdi Sai Baba temple, and then Amravati, and then other Vishwanath temple, all of them are taken over by the government because they are the ones making money. So now, what is the solution? Why did we start this one? Basically, our mission is to see that this Endowment Act is repealed. Why do we want to repeal it? First of all, it is a discrimination only to manage one religious institutions while giving total freedom for other religions. No churches are under government control, no mosques are government control. So we also feel that it is our right and freedom and independence that we should manage our own temples. Whatever problems we have, we should be able to resolve it and then find a mechanism whereby we should be able to manage it. Now, over a period of time, so we realized very few people, very few people, not even probably 5% of Hindus are aware that these temples are being managed by the government. It was a humongous task actually even to figure out how do we communicate to our Hindus. So then we associated with one organization, so that also we started, helped started that organization. It is called Hindu Devalaya Parirakshana Samiti, and it was headed by Kamala Kumar Swami. So we figured out we have to make people aware of this particular situation, thinking that government should not be in the business of managing our Hindu temples. So we started what is called Padayatra, going from one village to one village. So in 2007, so our group went 6 months from Basra to Tirupati. The following year, from Sri Kormam, that is in near Vishakhapatnam, to Tirupati. So 2 years. So we did Padayatra, and we had a public forum in Tirupati highlighting all the events. As we go along this Padayatra, we went to so many villages and visited so many temples, looked at so many temples, how they are being managed, and then telling people, this is our temples. There is no reason for government to take over. Other religious institutions are not taken. Now you have to take more interest, and you have to come to the temple, you have to lit the jyoti, you have to do the prayers, you have to conduct some bhajans and all that. So it's like, giving some motivational encouragement people, saying that it is your temple and you need to take care of these temples. So we have done like that one 2 years. At the same time, so we went at least 21 times to the High Court, because whenever we find some lands are being sold, so we automatically went to the High Court and got stay order. Once you get stay order, very rarely the government will go and try to defend why they are selling, because they cannot defend it. There is no way they can defend why they are selling it. So as a result, we were able to stop at least 21 times. Our Chief Minister, Y.S. Rajశేఖర్ Reddy, came to United States, US in 2007, May. So we were able to assemble a demonstration where we had about 600 people. Anybody can go to Google and then just search Chicago protest. That's all you need to say, Chicago protest. You will find at least about 40, 50 different items. It came in about 13 newspapers in Andhra Pradesh about our protest. And then finally at the end, he asked us to come and submit what our concerns. So we went and met him and submitted a lot of concerns also, even though, not something has happened. Dr. Subramanya Swami, he has been with our organization from day one. So he is the one, so he has been guiding us to a large extent in many of the things. And eventually, so our plan is to go to Supreme Court and contest it, because, he mentioned that it's better to wait for some time, have some test cases at the local level, at the state level, and then go to the Supreme Court. So that way, so we will have some justification. Now, what is it we have done? Not only these 21 stay orders that we did. I just want to give you just a few examples, because I think because of limited time. So now there is one temple which is unique. Nowhere in the world you will find a temple like this one. It is called Sri Kormam. That is like a turtle. That is one of the avataras, Sri Kormam. So that temple is in the district, Srikakulam district, where all the tortoise will come to that one. No other temple, even though all the temples are on the west coastal area, except to that temple, no other temple will see any turtles come, roam around, and then stay. No matter what you do, they would not leave. So these people were trying to remove them and then throw them away. So we figured out village people contacted us to help us, because you see, this is the way, the tradition for so many centuries. So we got involved, and so we were able to go and talk to the chief minister, chief secretary, and then a couple of other people. So we were able to stop it, and then make sure that they assigned about 2-acre lot, and then protect these these tortoise, and then we also were successful in getting some subsidy to those, so that they are being fed. So that is one of the things that we have done. And then in Katrainapalam, this is a very important one. It is near Vijayawada. There is a 2,000-acre forest. In that forest, there is a big, huge rock. From under the rock, you will see a stream of water coming. Locals believe that when Lord Rama was passing through that area, when he was thirsty, so he shot an arrow, and that is how the water came. So then they go and they drink water, and then wash their feet and all that. So in 2000 exactly, January, so the Christians announced that they are going to do Prana Pratishtha for Jesus on the top of that particular huge rock. So the villagers called. So we talked to the forest officials. Forest officials said, no, no, they cannot do it. But the point is they have no clue that these people were doing all that. By the time we came to know, they already set the stage. They built a big stage on that rock and then trying to put the statue. It was 26th January 2000 they were planning to have. So then we complained and police people went, about 5 or 6 of them. There are 300 Christians started throwing the rocks and they left. And because of some contacts, I was able to contact one of the officers at the state level who is in charge of this reserve police, because we know him personally. So I talked to him. He said, Uncle, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So he sent about 200 reserve police and he was able to stop that one. And then that postponed. Postponed means it's over. But at the same time, we didn't know whether they removed the stage they already set, because any one night they may go and then do anything. So then it took another 2 weeks before we could completely demolish that area. So that is another thing that we have done. In Lalpeta, I think our Madhava would know. This is Lalpeta near Guntur. This is what happened just about a year ago. There is a 7.5 acres land. The Christians overnight came and built compound wall and then put a very huge statue in that 7.5 acres overnight. And then they started doing bhajans and all that. So the villagers called. So then we tried to contact. We asked them, give all the phone numbers that you know. So we called different circle inspector and up and all that. So they said, no, we'll take care of it, don't worry and all that. So I told them this is what happened. They said, Uncle, all the people that you talk about Christians, there is no way anybody will do it, because the whole line. Then I called the MP and then a chief secretary. So about 6 of them I called. It took almost 3 weeks before we could see that this compound wall is removed and then that cross. So they couldn't do it in 3 weeks, but it took almost 2 months before that can be removed. So basically it is a struggle. Every little thing, they will come and occupy or they will plan something. For a Hindu, it is a survival. It is getting very difficult for Hindus to execute anything because the government, they call it a secular government, but basically it is more of an anti-Hindu government rather than a secular government. We all know what secular means. No, not even Supreme Court defined the word secular. That means the government introduced the concept secular in order to utilize that particular word to mean what it means, not what the definition or anything. Never defined even in the Constitution during the emergency of Indira Gandhi. That is where she introduced that socialistic secular. So when it is secular, obviously we all know what is happening, and the Hajj subsidy and then Hajj travel and Hajj terminals, you name it, all kinds of things, reservations for the minorities, all of these things are happening. So basically, Hindus have to wake up and do the things. Now, I just give you a couple of examples. Okay. Tirupati is another, I think all of you probably heard Balaji Temple. You see, they have a union. There are almost like about 30,000 people employed by Balaji Temple. They have a union. These union people really blackmail the whole organization because they know executive officer is appointed every 2 years. As soon as a new executive officer is appointed, within a month or so, they will go with a number of demands. If you don't meet these demands, we will go on strike. Tell me which executive officer is going to allow that kind of strike within 1 month after he came. So he has to agree to many of those things. So this kind of thing is going on. So we have protested vehemently. Now, they also asked for housing lots. So they decided to give 200 acres and then divide it into, give these lots to all the employees. So we protested. So we wrote so many letters, and so then we wanted to go to court, High Court, and get this stay order. Our lawyer suggested, sir, these 200 acres, out of that 130 acres is given in 1540. Those 130 acres were given by some gentleman, Prativadi Bhayankara Annacharya. Prativadi Bhayankara Annacharya given this one in 1540 during Krishnadevaraya time. He is the one supposed to have written Suprabhatam. Suprabhatam started only from that time onwards. After he composed that one, got the blessings from the king, Krishnadevaraya, so he donated this land. So our lawyer suggested, unless you find somebody, so you know who is in that line, so you may not be able to win that case. So it took almost 6 months to find somebody who belongs to that family, lineage. So with that one, we were able to go to the High Court and were able to stop the distribution of these 200 acres. Simple logic. We know the Christians and the Muslims, their ideology and our ideology. And their ideology, it is all known. They keep talking about it. They want to propagate, they want to extend, they want to convert the whole of India into either Islam or Christian, depending on which is their faith. So that means if you give these 200 acres of lots to these employees, one day or the other they have to sell it. So whom you sell? Obviously the highest bidder. So one of these days, within the next 20 years or 30 years, probably it becomes a Christian colony or a Muslim colony in front of Balaji temple. So that was the logic we used, and of course, everybody recognizes, but because of the power the union has, they were not able to do it. So we were able to do it. Now, so salaries, the enormous, the salaries the TTD give to these union employees is unbelievable, including shoes, including socks, including clothes, including your children's education, including their marriage, you name it, they have the privileges. So if we ask, they won't give. So our people, we requested our people go to the administration building and through RTI get that information, how much salaries they are getting and all that. So union people came and actually hit them and abused them, threw them, and in fact our two people, their ribs were broken. So now the case is actually, we asked them to go to the High Court and then file this one. Even though police case was registered, TTD has never taken any action on that one. So now the case is pending. So this is the kind of thing the TTD employees are doing. So we talked to the chairman, and he came actually in May last year. So I submitted 18 different points to him actually what is happening in that one about. Of course, you all know the ticket scams and all the other things, and too many of them to even mention. Now, once in a while, as Hindus, we get impression whether we as Hindus, can we really manage? Are we really interested in serving our faith? Are we really interested in such a way that we will be able to manage our temples? Do we have that awareness? Do you think we are equipped for it? So we are thought, we are fighting with the government, we go to the courts and then we do all these things. But if the time comes, are we ready? Then we thought, you see, somehow, even though we have done this Padayatra and all that, still we have to do a little more than that one. Then we thought, let us see how many, at least let us try to figure out and see how we can impart this awareness to the people, whereby they will recognize the value of our temples. With that intention, so we have requested one of the top singers in Andhra Pradesh to assemble 4 or 5 people and compose some good songs only on Devalayam, only on temples. So you will see on this CD there are 10 songs, nothing but Devalayam, temples. What is the significance of the temple? What is the importance? Why do we have to go? What are the symbolisms of these temples? When you go to the Rajagopuram and Dvajastambam and the Pradakshina and Arati and Shatagopuram, all these things, every aspect of Hindu temple is covered in these songs. Whoever listens, I'm sure at least they would appreciate whether it will motivate them to participate in the survival of our temples or not, but I'm not sure. But at least they will get a very good idea of the important significance of the temples. So the singer is a very top-notch singer in Andhra Pradesh. He received 3 Guinness World Records actually, and because of him, so we were able to establish a few things for the last 1 year. Now he has so many contacts because of his popularity. So we requested him to lead our effort in Hyderabad. So because of his contacts, let us bring the endowment minister himself to the United States, because he is the one who is in charge of all the temples in Andhra Pradesh. In every state like that, one endowment minister is there. So we were able to convince him, and you can see his picture up there on the right side. So he came here came to US in August. On August 11th, we had a 7-hour symposium. So we have submitted almost about 100 different recommendations on different topics about the management, about the finances, about the dilapidation of temples, about the lands, about the encroachment. Encroachment is a major problem. Everybody knows all those. So like this one, so we have divided our questions into 12 different categories and submitted about 100 recommendations. So when he was there, in fact, he made a surprise announcement saying that whoever is interested in renovating any of the temples in their villages, so his government is willing to match dollar for dollar. So if we feel that in our village, some temple we want to take some interest and renovate, if it costs 10 lakhs, the government will give 5 lakhs and then we give 5 lakhs kind of thing. So now he is working on it. In fact, we are in touch with him. And of course, even though he promised it, you need to have some government order. It is called GIVO. So he is preparing that document. Hopefully within the next week or 2, we may get that GIVO by which anybody can utilize the funds of the government and by matching. So that is one thing that that we have done. And okay. You see, there is the couple of things I wanted to mention also. The Hindu temples, somehow we have to revive, renovate, and see that we will be able to manage those things. The question is, suppose government gets tired of all these activities and one day they want to give it. So are we ready for it? Now, for the last 5 years, so different states have been working on this one. Karnataka actually started almost about 4 years ago. Rama Joyce, so he is the one who was in charge of developing this so-called white paper as to how to manage our temples. So he has about 300-page document. And in that one, so he basically came up with the whole structure, how every state should have a structure whereby every temple will be affiliated with that particular group and then follow these guidelines and all that. At the same time, giving an option, now all the acharyas, all the Swamijis, many religious institutions are showing so much concern as to what is happening to our temples. So there are some Swamijis who have shown interest in adopting some of these temples. So that means in this particular white paper, he has also given an option for these Swamijis, if they want to adopt, if they want to run these temples, they can take those temples. And then rest of the temples will come under this, whatever we want to call it, apex committee or so at the state level, and then district level, the mandal level, village level, city level, all these. So you have different levels, and mostly we are encouraging, or at least in the document, as much as possible, voluntary people who have retired, who are committed to it. Because if you look at the composition of these executive officers and at the same time the board of trustees or board of directors, like Tirupati, almost all the big temples have board of directors. If you look at the composition of these board of directors, I mean, it is pathetic. You don't even want to affiliate with these people because they can't even define what is Hinduism. They can't even say one God's name properly. And these are the people who are in charge of our temples. Why? Because they are appointed by the government. Government controls our temples. Government controls who is supposed to be managing it. And in fact, if you remember about 3-4 months ago, still, even though there was a lot of discussion, lot of GOs were also passed, saying that no Christian should be doing any evangelical missionary activities on TTD. Just about 2 months ago, so again we found some people trying to distribute the literature on the hill and whatnot. So we have protested that one. We have met with the board of chairman also. So they have no clue, they have no concept as to how they can protect their own religion. They are only interested in the position. Beyond that one, they cannot understand, they cannot even talk even 5 minutes about Hinduism. I don't know if anybody has even read that book, any book about Hinduism. Because we, about 2 years ago, we had a group of people, almost it is called Annavaram Temple, Satyanarayan Temple. I think that is one of a kind, is supposed to be Swayambhu Temple, a very famous Satyanarayan Temple. So 2 years ago, they came to ES, they wanted to do Satyanarayana Katha. In 11 cities they have done. They came to Dallas and they have done it in our temple. At that time, so 9 board of trustees came. All of them came. There are 9 of them. So I asked them, why did you all come? Why 9 people? Oh, because we want to supervise what is happening and all that, and we wanted to report it back and all that. Do you need all 9 people to come and observe and then do all that one? So I said, it is a waste of money. You see, a devotee, a small, poor people coming from the villages, dropping 1 rupee, 2 rupee, and you are spending so much coming all the way here. I mean, why you are wasting all this money, the devotees' money? I mean, they take it as if it is their personal purse. The amount of corruption, the amount of misuse is almost unimaginable. Because if you look at it, per year, how much money TTD gets? probably 4,000 crores or something like that one. Imagine the amount of money. So, and they are assigning to certain things, but the amount of misuse, abuse, we don't know. So that's the reason I think all Hindus have a responsibility to take personal interest and look at their own temples, look at what is happening to their temples, look at the facilities that the government is providing, and see what can be done. Our ultimate goal has to make sure this endowment department is repealed, because it is contrary to the constitution the government has composed. According to constitution, we are supposed to be secular. It is nothing but secular. It is anything other than secular. So we have to make sure that Hindus take pride in their religion. I request all the Hindus to read at least just one book, only one book, and you will be different. You will see the whole religion from a different perspective. And we as Hindus failing our religion. Look at all the Annie Besant, Mark Twain, all these great souls, Thoreau, Emerson, what they have said about our religion. It is almost unimaginable. And see how indifferent we have become to our own religion. Unless we Hindus get united, there are some differences, but these differences should not overwhelm and overshadow the importance and significance of our religion. Every organization will have some differences, but we become more vocal in our criticism of our own religion for simply because we do not know what Hinduism is all about. In order to cover up, in order to make sure that we don't want to show our ignorance, so we try to emphasize the negative aspect. If it's not knowing, it's not, if you know something about Hinduism and talk about constructively, anybody would have no problem. But it is the ignorant people who have not read anything, who has not studied anything, they are the ones who are really destroying our Hinduism. So I feel let us all just take a pause, think about ourselves, and see how best we can protect our religion, because this is the richest religion. We let us preserve the glory and the grandeur of our religion, because the survival of humanity depends on the survival of Hinduism. And everybody, if you just look at what is happening in this world today, tell me what is the alternative. You don't have an alternative if you are a Hindu, if you are concerned about the human race and the humanity. In order to live in peace and peaceful coexistence, Hinduism is the only answer, and all the Hindus and all the well-wishers should join hands and try to protect our Hindu temples and our Hindu culture, so that way the human race will live in peace. Jai Guru Hanuman.
Vani